Hello friends, welcome to your own channel on artificial intelligence and machine learning. We are learning SQL programming. Let us have a quick recap of what we have covered so far. So far, we have extensively worked on DDL statements. And as we created table, we also used insert statements. And while creating the table, we learned the data types and we saw various constraints that we can put on the table. We also learned the usage of indexes, clustered and non-clustered indexes, how the data is stored in a B-tree format, and how these indexes helps us quickly retrieve data from the table. Indexes are very important from query optimization point of view. I hope you have seen all the videos. Now, in this part of the video, we are going to work on update, delete, and select queries. The table and the data for these queries is created in our previous videos. If you have not watched those previous videos, probably you may want to watch those videos and create the table with dummy data for our querying purpose. Okay, great. Let's now jump on to DML, data manipulation language. As part of DML, we have already executed insert syntaxes. We have already executed select queries, and we created the schema K2, and this K2 schema we have various tables, batches, courses, and so forth. So quickly we'll run select star from batches, and while we run the query, if you have not subscribed to the channel, I request you to subscribe, and if you are enjoying the sessions, then please hit the like button. Okay, here is our select query. This is the data that we have. I would like to update the end date of batch ID to 2021-12-01. But which batch ID? Let us update the end date of batch ID. Which batch ID? Do you want to update the end date of all the batches? Okay. No, I don't want to. But in case I want to update for all batches, the query would have been something like this without a where condition. Now, if you run this query without a where condition, in MySQL, it will give you a warning message, a error prompt. Let us run that. Oh, it executed. Typically, it gives you a warning message because you are trying to update the entire table, and the warning message would be update of the table is happening without a SQL safe update mode. Okay, probably in my case the SQL safe update setting is done, and I think I have updated the entire, what I think it has happened because the query is executed. So it has updated the entire table. What I'll have to do is, let me open my insert statements once again and repopulate the data. To repopulate the data, I will have to run the insert syntaxes which we had executed when we created the batches table. And before I run the insert, I will have to delete the data, delete from batches. Now, if I try to execute delete syntax, what am I going to do is delete all of these batch IDs which are there, delete all of these rows which are already existing in the batches table. The moment I try to delete all of these records, it is going to give me an error. What is the error? Let us see. Cannot delete or update a parent row. Reason being, the batches table has a foreign key relationship with student batch mapper and trainer batch mapper. As such, I cannot delete records from this table. If I have to delete records from this table, I will have to delete data from student batch mapper and trainer batch mapper also. Now you can see that one query which I wrongly executed without a where condition updated my entire table. It happened inadvertently, but it has updated the entire table. So when you run the update syntaxes, you need to be very careful, because if you don't use appropriate where condition, your entire table content may change, and then reverting back may require a lot of effort. So this is an example of update syntax. Ideally, in most of your cases, the syntax would not have executed. Reason being, by default, MySQL does not allow update syntaxes without a where condition unless you set unless you do this setting, set SQL updates is equal to 0. In my case, probably I might have changed the setting before starting to record the video. Let me now make this SQL set safe update equal to 1. Okay. Now let me try to run this update query and let me try to make it some other date now. This is what I was expecting when I was executing the query. You are using safe update mode and you try to update a table without where condition. But unfortunately, in my machine, I had already set SQL safe update equal to 0 and the query got executed. But it's in a way it's good. In a way it's good because the person who is watching this video, you can understand with one wrong update query, you can get into trouble because your entire table content can get changed, and making undo the changes may then require more efforts. Okay, so let me now set SQL safe update equal to 0. And if I now run this query once again without a where clause, it will get executed. By default, MySQL gives you this safety feature. Mind well, this safety feature is not there in other databases like Microsoft SQL Oracle, they are not going to give you a warning that you are running a query without a where condition. If you run this kind of a query, they will simply execute it. Okay, so be very careful while executing any update syntax. For now, I have done the necessary change. I have made the change to entire table. It's okay. So this is an example of a update syntax. I cannot run delete because batches table has a primary key foreign key association with student batch mapper and trainer batch mapper table. Okay, so this is on update. As a practice exercise, I want you to write a update syntax and you need to make change in the course table for course ID 1011. What you have to do is, for the course ID 1011, you need to change the fee amount, which is currently 8,000. Let me just check by running a select query. Yeah, the fees is 8,000. For this table, you need to change the fees from 8,000, you have to make it 10,000. And you have to change the duration, which is currently 4, and assume the duration is 4 months. You need to change the duration from 4 to 5. You need to write the update query such that both these changes, the change in the fees amount and the duration, is done in one select query. Pause the video, try to write update query, and then check whether your answer matches with the query which I'm now showing you. The answer for this would be update courses, set fees is equal to 10,000, duration is equal to 5, where course ID is equal to 1011. So basically what you can do is, in one update you can update multiple columns of a table. You need to simply put comma, call equal to value, comma, call equal to value, and so forth. You can change multiple columns. You can set the value of multiple columns. Let us go ahead, execute this update syntax. Okay, having executed, let's see where course ID is equal to 1011. Specifically, I'm selecting only that row, and I can see the course duration and the fees has got changed. Okay, so this is on update. Another practice exercise. From the student table, wherever the gender is F, you need to make the gender M, and wherever the gender is M, you need to make the gender F. This is a tricky problem. You need to update the students table, and wherever the gender is mentioned as M, you need to make it F, and wherever the gender is F, you need to make it M. Pause the video, try to find the answer for that. Okay, I hope you would have got the answer. If not, I'll show you the answer. The answer for this is, obviously, SQL Safe Update has to be switched off because we are going to update the entire table. And the way we need to do the update is update students, set gender equal to, and here I'm introducing a new concept called case when. So here what we are doing is we are checking if the gender is M, then replace it by F, else make it M. This case when is very much like a if condition. If condition, and this condition is true, what should be the value if it is true? And if the condition is not true, what should be the value if the condition is false? So here in one go, we are going to update. Okay, we have made the gender, wherever it was M, we have made it F, and wherever it was F, we have made it M. Let us run this query once more. So we correct our data. Okay. Once again, if I run the same query, and now I see it. Okay. I've got my original data. Okay. Okay, let's move forward. Delete. Delete those records from trainer batch member where work description is doubt expert. Okay, let's first see the data in trainer batch mapper. So what are we saying? Wherever the work description is doubt expert, basically the trainer is a person here who will clarify the doubts of the students. So wherever the work description is doubt expert, we have to delete those records from the trainer batch mapper table. So the query would be delete from trainer batch mapper where work description is equal to doubt expert. Before I run this query, let me see how many records are there in the trainer batch mapper. So select count star. Count is an aggregation function which will give you the number of records in this table. Okay. So there are 14 records. Now I run this query. Having executed this query, it says 2 records were affected. Once again, if I run the select count star, from 14 we have come down to 12 because 2 records has been deleted. If I run delete from trainer batch mapper, it is going to delete all records from the trainer batch mapper table. Then we have another syntax which is truncate table trainer batch mapper. What will this syntax do? This syntax will also delete all records from the trainer batch mapper. What is the difference between a delete and a truncate syntax? Let us try to understand the difference between these two. Delete versus truncate. The difference between the delete and truncate statement is logs are generated. And here no logging happens. How does it make a difference to us? It makes a difference. Because here logs are generated, it is slow. Here, because there are no logs generated, it is very fast. If you are deleting data from a table where you have millions of records, truncate will execute in seconds, split seconds. But delete may take time because when you are running a delete syntax, it has to generate logs. Now, why are logs important for us? Assume you have a block of code and that block of code has start and end. In between this block of code, typically it's called begin, not start. A block of code which is written in between begin and end. Here you have statement 1. It may be probably an insert query. Here you have another SQL query, say statement 2. And here you have a delete syntax. And here you have some other statement 4. And this block of code has to execute such that, because it is between begin and end, this entire block has to execute as one big statement, which means if this is success, this is success and this is success, only then commit should happen. Assume this has become success, this is success, this is success, and this statement fails. Because this fails, a rollback will happen. Now, how does rollback happen? Rollback happens because of logs. As each statement, each query was executing, the log was generated, and basis the log, the database is able to roll back and it will go back to a state before execution of this begin and end. Now, in case you write this begin end, statement 1, 2, and here you have a truncate and statement 4. If this fails, rollback cannot happen because truncate does not generate logs. Full rollback cannot happen. Truncate happens without any logging activity, which means your data loss will happen. This is the fundamental difference between a delete and a truncate statement. Okay. The net effect, if you have only one line statement delete from and truncate table, the effect, if there is only one syntax to be executed, the effect is same. Okay. Otherwise, this is the fundamental difference between a delete and a truncate statement. Now here, if I ask you, is truncate statement a DML query or a DDL? If you ask this question in interview, is truncate a DML syntax or a DDL syntax? Many of the people answer truncate is a DDL. No, truncate is not a DDL syntax. Reason being, truncate does not alter the schema of the database tables. Any syntax which alters the schema, create table, alter table, drop table, drop column, all these alter the schema, the table structure. Whereas truncate table does not alter the table structure. It just deletes data from the table without logging. That's why truncate table is a DML syntax. Truncate is DML and not DDL. Okay. So let's go ahead and run this truncate. I've just done truncate. You could have also executed delete. Okay. All the data has been truncated from this table. Okay. So let me reinsert data. This is an insert query which I have already executed earlier. So we'll reinsert data. Okay. I hope this query is completely visible on the screen. We are reinserting data and it will say 14 rows affected. Yes. Okay. Delete all records where work description is trainer. So trainer batch mapper. Okay. So here I have a work description, trainer plus mentor, trainer plus mentor, trainer, trainer, trainer plus mentor. So now the question is, whether I should be deleting trainer, mentor together or only trainer or both. Here first is we require delete all where the work description is equal to trainer. Okay. So let's see the answer for this. I hope you would have executed the query, and there are other practice exercises also. Let me show all the practice exercises. Update work description equal to null where batch ID is greater than 301 and less than 305. Delete all records where work description is null. So basically what you have to do, there are three practice exercises. Delete all records where work description is trainer. Don't delete trainer plus mentor. Update the work description to null wherever the batch ID is more than 301, greater than, not equal to, and less than 305. So 302, 303 and 304 batch ID should be impacted. After having updated, delete all the records where work description is null. Okay. Pause the video, practice these queries. Okay, I hope you have paused and tried to find the answer. If you have got the answer, great. So first is delete all records where work description is null. So let me write the delete syntax. Delete from trainer batch mapper where work description is equal to trainer, semicolon. Let's see how many records gets deleted. 4 records got deleted. Okay. Then update trainer batch mapper, set work description equal to null, ID greater than, because I mentioned greater than, and ID less than. You could have written this syntax like this, and the other way is you can have write this syntax something like this, where ID between 302 and 304. Please note when you run a between syntax, both of these are inclusive. Okay, so first I'll run this. Yeah, it says 2 rows affected. Now let me just show you this syntax with between, and here instead of saying null, we'll say this null means void, nothing. But if you enclose this between a single quote, it means string null. It is not void. It means string with a value null. Okay, please understand the difference. Now once again, let's run this query. This time I'm using between. It says again 2 rows has been affected. The same 2 rows which would have got affected. Let's see the data. 302, this is null. 304, this is null. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run this syntax once again. Okay. This time because I wanted to make it null, which is void, not there, and nothing is there. Shift Control Enter, and once again run this. Please note this null. In the previous query, null was appearing in dark black color. This time null is coming with a gray shade. It means there is no data here. Okay, that's the difference I wanted to point out. Okay, now what is the third query? Delete all records where you changed the work description and made it null. So I have to delete all records where work description is not present, which is empty. So I run this syntax. It is not going to delete anything. 0 rows affected. In our earlier video, we have already discussed, assume there is an unknown thing in your drawer, one of your drawers, there is something unknown, and assume there is something unknown which is there in your one of your shelf. Can we say the unknown in drawer is equal to unknown in the shelf? We cannot, because you don't know what is that unknown. So you cannot say unknown equal to unknown. Similarly, you cannot say null is equal to null. If you run this query, I have already explained this with the same example. When you run null equal to null, it may appear that these two null are equal, but no, null is not equal to none. One unknown is not equal to another unknown, so it will give you false. So the right way of writing this query is you saying that, hey, work description is null. If you run this query, it will delete. 3 rows has been affected. Why 3 rows got affected? The reason why 3 rows got affected is for 2 rows you made the work description null, and for one of the records when we inserted data, the work description was given as null upfront. As such, 3 rows got affected. I hope this clarifies. Okay, great. Practice exercise. Delete all records from the trainer batch mapper where training hours is less than 30 and the work description has the word mentor. I'm not saying work description equal to mentor. I'm saying wherever the work description has the word mentor and wherever training hours are less than 30, these two conditions are satisfied, you have to delete those records. Pause the video, try to answer this practice exercise. I hope you have done it. So let's see the data first. Which all records we want to delete? This is trainer mentor 60 hours, no. Trainer mentor 40 hours, no. This is mentor 30 hours. I have said less than 30. So no. Mentor 45. Trainer mentor 40, mentor 30. Actually, no record should get deleted. Because training hours less than 30, this condition is not going to satisfy. And how do you put the condition? Work description has the word mentor because this mentor has trainer also, and this mentor does not have anything with it. So we use a wild card, percentage mentor percentage, which means there can be anything coming before mentor word and there can be anything coming after the mentor word. Let me run this query. 0 rows affected. If I change the query and say it equal to, less than equal to, in that case, how many records should get deleted? Let's see. This one has 30 and the word mentor is there. And this one has mentor 35. Let me make it 40. Let us, for the discussion's sake, make it 40 so I can show you that this will also get deleted. So I make it 40. Okay. The objective is you should understand that this wildcard works. Okay. 3 rows affected. Let's see the data once again after having done the query. You can see trainer plus mentor, that record has got deleted. Great. Lots of deletion has happened in the trainer batch mapper. So what I'm doing is I'm just dropping the entire table. I can delete the content also. Do I need to drop it? No, I don't need to drop the table. I'll delete from. Yeah, we'll keep the table structure as it is. Delete from 4 rows affected, because this part of the session is on DML. As such, instead of dropping, I prefer to delete it. And once again, let's repopulate the data. Yeah, this is the syntax. And here I would get 14 rows affected. We have repopulated the data in this table. This is the end of code for DML syntaxes, where we have learned update, and we learned that if we run a update query without where condition, we can change the entire table. We should avoid that. MySQL gives you this safety net of SQL safe updates. Okay, by default it should be set as 1. If it is set as 1, these kind of queries where you forget to put the where condition, they will not get executed. Okay, you should, whenever you change this SQL safe update to 0, the way you should do is you should change it to 0 and immediately you should make it 1. Okay, then we learned delete, and in delete we saw various things, and we also learned the wildcard usage, and we also saw is null condition equal to null condition. So good amount of DML syntaxes we have learned: insert, select, update, delete, truncate. They are all DML syntaxes. Now sometimes what may happen is you may get data in a CSV file. This piece of code you may not be able to run it. You may have data in some CSV file and you want to import this entire data into your table. So I'm going to run this code. You just observe it. Here I'm creating a table stocks data which has 5 fields, and I'm trying to load data from this file. The data has 5 columns. It's a comma separated value file, and to load data from a CSV file you require load data in file, this syntax, and you can load data. It has loaded 10 rows, and if I show you the data. Now the point here, what I want to mention also, you can load data from an external file and import it in your table using load data syntax, something like this. One thing please note, if this query load data in file does not work in your machine, you may need to do some configuration changes in my.ini file. By default, the configuration is set such that you cannot load data from a local file system. That is the default setting, and you may have to make certain changes in this file. You can go on other YouTube videos, find what changes you should be doing, and once you allow load data in file and you set it to true, you will be able to load this data. Okay, with this I conclude the DML part of the video. In the upcoming session, we are going to work extensively on select queries. So far we have been just writing select queries: select star from table name, select star from table name where something equal to something, where condition. But in the upcoming session we will work extensively on the select query. As a data scientist, you would often fetch data from a source system, and that's where your select query knowledge is the most important. See you in the upcoming video. Till then, thank you. Bye bye.